So set number 1, preposition. Bobby waited in front dash the school of. It is as easy as that. Next, the children were told to return home dash it became dark. Before it became dark. Right, everybody? Clear? Next, he wore an old muffler wrapped dash his neck. Around. Right? Round হবে না কিন্তু, around. He saw the bird fly high dash the tower and disappear. We saw the bird fly high dash the tower. Dash the tower? Tower over the tire, towards the tire, towards the tower, over the tower. Both are right. অ্যাবাভ শোনো, যখন উড়বে, যখন এরকমভাবে যাবে তখন ওভার হবে, তখন অ্যাবাভ হবে না। ঠিক আছে? ওভার দ্য টাওয়ার অ্যান্ড ডিসঅ্যাপিয়ার অ্যান্ড টুয়ার্ডস দ্য টাওয়ার অ্যান্ড ডিসঅ্যাপিয়ার, বোথ আর কারেক্ট। Music therapy is a cure dash many ills. Cure for many ills, right? Next, the thief ran dash the staircase and out into the yard. Ran down the staircase and out into the yard. Next, Mr. Roy jumped into his car and drove dash as fast as he could. Drove off. O-double-F. Drove off. Next, the last one of the first set. Please do not get carried dash by these rumors. Carried away. Very good. Now, set number 2, question number 1. The mouse crept stealthily dash the cheese. Towards the cheese. Crept towards the cheese. Smoking is banned dash public places. In public places. Very good. No, in. Even though the way was beset dash difficulties, they succeeded. Beset with. Very good. The president counted dash the cooperation of his cabinet members. The president counted on the cooperation of his cabinet members. Next, I refrained dash telling my teacher the truth. I refrained from telling my teacher the truth. Next, it was good dash you to invite me for your wedding. It was good of you to invite me for your wedding. Next, the public were cautioned dash pickpockets. The public were cautioned against pickpockets. Against pickpockets. Next, my dad was so anxious dash my safety that he refused to let me go alone. My dad was so anxious about my safety, not of, okay? No, about. About it. About. Anxious about my safety, okay? Next, set number 3. She agreed dash my proposal. She agreed to my proposal. Very good. A good and hard worker is worthy dash praise. Everybody? Of worthy of praise. I caught him dash his neck. I caught him দুটোই হয় by his neck হয় around his neck হয় দুটোই হবে both are correct. Next, Ronnie na Benny fell dash the roof. Fell from the roof, fell off the roof. Both are correct. O double F off and F R O A. From. Next, he was not honest dash me. He was not honest to me. With me. Both are correct. The old man succumbed dash to his injuries. To. Succumbed. টু তো বলেই দিয়েছিলাম বোধহয় আমি না আমি টু বলেছিলাম ও লিখে ফেলেছিল টু আচ্ছা succumb to his injuries. Next, she is quick dash anger. Quick to anger. Next, the mice entered the hole one by one. One by one. One after another. Okay? Next, set number 4. She found the key dash the eraser. Beside the eraser, near the eraser. না below তো হবে না. I could not go dash the trip because I had the dance practice. I could not go on the trip. I could not go on the trip. No. The so I could not go dash the trip. I could not go on the trip. The noise of the firecrackers prevented us dash sleeping. From noise spelling. What is noise spelling? N-O-I-S-A. So, next, the talented young musician put the flute dash his lips and played a melody on his lips. না placed এটা দেখে মনে হচ্ছে between হতে পারে হতে পারে তা না on his lips লিপসের ওপরে টাচ করে রাখে তাই placed on his lips. Clear? Next, the father leaned dash the wall. Against the wall after he finished painting the chair. Clear? Next, the knife sliced dash the butter and hit the paper under it. Through. Sliced through the butter and hit the paper under it. Next, the man made sure his cycle was always dash the path. On the path. My brother carried the bucket dash the stairs. Up the stairs. But down the stairs. তাই না দুটোই হতে পারে আপ হতে পারে ডাউন হতে পারে কে বলছে যে বলছে সে ডাউনে আছে না আপে আছে ইট ইজ নট ক্লিয়ার টু আস রাইট নেক্সট সেট নাম্বার 5 I ran dash my old friend at the beach yesterday. Ran into বেশি ভালো হয় কারণ এটা কাম অ্যাক্রস মনে হয় ঠিক আছে all the siblings fought dash their families ancestral আচ্ছা according to the book I ran off my old friends হয় So, all the siblings fought কি বললাম for their families ancestral land. Fought over their families ancestral. না fought over হয় for আর over দুটোই হয়. Next, the student was bent dash being the best in his class, was bent over, being the best in his class, bent over. Next, my neighbor is very nervous dash her interview tomorrow. Under. Nervous na? My neighbor is very nervous under her interview tomorrow. মানে ইন্টারভিউর আন্ডারে পড়ে গিয়ে ও নার্ভাস আন্ডার হবে, নার্ভাস হয়েছে ওর তলে পড়ে। My grandma begged me dash the answer to the riddle. Begged me about the answer to the riddle. About. The oral exam was followed dash a written one. Followed with a written one. By always will be leaving, followed with a written one, followed by. The oral exam was followed by a written one. Followed with, followed by. By the with seems to be very much unnatural. There is such a contrast that the two sisters, contrast on the two sisters, contrast. Next, I provided dash at I prevailed dash him to give me the contract. Prevailed from. Prevailed from. According to the book, it has been given that there is such a contrast on the two sisters. But from the mind, preposition mind থেকে যেটা পাওয়া গেল সেটা হচ্ছে contrast to, contrast between and contrast with. What is the difference between all these? Contrast to, contrast between, এগুলো যে your action is a contrast to your profession. Your action is contrast to your profession, but your action is a contrast with your profession. Both are correct. Contrast to, contrast with your profession. But when there is a great contrast between the two, here it is given in the form between the two sisters. Okay, but when the contrast will be represented as a verb, যেমন contrast Akbar with Aurangzeb, then to will not be used. When contrast will be used as verb, there will be no to, only with. Contrast this with dash. Contrast this to dash হবে না. Contrast this with that. Contrast this to that হবে না. But there is a contrast তখন যদি হবে between the two, বা আমরা যদি বলি যে your action is a contrast to your profession বা with your profession. যখন কারণটা কন্ট্রাস্টটা ভার্ব হিসেবে হবে তখন কোনো সময় টু বসবে না, ক্লিয়ার? আর যখন ভার্ব না, যখন ওটা নাউন, দেয়ার ইজ এ কন্ট্রাস্ট, তখন কিন্তু টু বসতে পারে। বাট যখন দুটো নাম থাকছে তখন ইট উইল বি contrast between. Clear?